Hi, everybody, and good morning. Welcome to Life and Style, this Relationship Wednesday. I'm your host, Pastor Chris Atemo. You know, we get the drill. We do mandate, we do the retake, we do style my wife, style my hubby, and then we end up with Ask Pastor Chris. The whole package is supposed to help the entire family in matters relationship, whether you're relating with a spouse, a brother, or a parent, or your children. We want to see the whole family unit built up, healed, made up, and everybody living well. So we transform people one life at a time. Today, we've got an interesting topic, and our topic is arranged marriages. So the men, I've got some gentlemen with me already on mandate, but the ladies are also waiting. So I'm going to say hi to them. Hi, ladies. Hi. Yeah, the ladies are waiting to join us on retake. But I would also like to hear your views, because today we're talking arranged marriages. Would you get into an arranged marriage? Do they work? Are they better than the ones where, you know, we fall in love head over heels with each other and get into it? So what are your thoughts concerning arranged marriages? I want to hear that. You know what you do. You hit Twitter, you hit Facebook, you hit Instagram. The hashtag is KTN Life and Style. Follow us on the social media platforms. That is at KTN Life_style for Instagram and Twitter, and KTN Life and Style is our page on Facebook. You could also follow me at CJ Atemo on Twitter, Chris Atemo on Instagram, and Chris J Atemo is my Facebook page. 22840 is our text message number. You want to be part of this panel? Write us an email. Send an email to us, Life and Style. The and is a symbol, Life and Style at standardmedia.co.ke. So remember, you keep the conversation going. Tweet, retweet, quote, tweet, whatever you've got to do. Just make sure that you're conversing with us on arranged marriages. So I get straight to the point with the gentleman over here. And before I get into the conversation, I want them to introduce themselves, beginning with the gentleman on the farthest left.
All right, thank you very much, Reverend Atemo. My name is Stan Klaus Agacho. I'm a financial consultant.
All right. The gentleman in the middle.
Thank you very much for the show. My name is Tito Martin Musomba. I'm a student from USIU, taking Bachelor of Arts in International Relations.
Okay. And then the closest to me.
Thank you so much. My name is Rashid Alex.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a mentor, I'm a preacher.
All right.
Yes.
Who do you mentor?
I mentor young people. Yes.
You're young yourself. But just getting into it, we're talking arranged marriages today. Would you get into an arranged marriage? Which one of you is married? None of you is married. Right. Okay. Would you give it a thought? Would you get into an arranged marriage?
Is that directed to me, sir?
Anybody? Just go ahead.
Let me just jump in right away. I think it's really about being objective in your approach. Of course, there is a snare from society for people who would get into such arrangements, and this is majorly because of how we have been socialized. We have already been taught since childhood that arranged marriages are a thing of the past. So it becomes very difficult then for a modern person to reconcile himself to the ways of old, quote unquote. But I did some little research on what it is that arranged marriages is, and what was the impetus, what was the inner thinking, what was the strategy that these old people literally had when they came up with these arranged marriages. And I'm sure as the show goes ahead, we'll be digging deep into some of these
thoughts.
What are
those that you found out?
And actually, one that was really mind-blowing was genetic mapping, for instance. That these people of old thought that it would be wise for us to have pedigree of maybe Reverend Atemo and maybe I don't know, the Obama's family, for example. So they were trying to come up with super breeds of strong families, which was a pretty interesting argument, because it is a biological fact that the contributory pedigrees will really phenotypically expose those strengths in those bloodlines. So they were really talking about bloodlines. How do we strengthen our bloodline? How do we consolidate our economic ventures? How do we consolidate our influence? For example, the problem is that today the reasons of marriage are a bit shallow. Right? Of course, you know, people will argue that this is your soulmate and you will pursue destiny together and so on. But when I look at the scriptures, I see Paul say things like, if you must marry, marry. but you'd rather stay alone. And then he gives a reason and says that, you know, if you're burning with passion, marry. You see, so all of a sudden, I'm at a place where I'm trying to reconcile. Where then is that depth that we've been taught all our lives that this is very important? So when I look at that, I'm beginning to agree and imagine the idea that actually, could it be that arranged marriages are better? Could it be?
Yeah,
I couldn't agree with him.
You're not agreeing with him?
I'm not.
Okay.
For the basic reason that I will draw my conclusions and my direction in life from the scripture. And the Bible says that in Proverbs 18:22, it says, whoever finds, it's a responsibility I have to find. And I don't see, it means finding means I have to put my resources into locating that I want.
You know, if you go scripture, there's people who are helped to find. Thank you so much, sir, because I wanted to say, Mr. Preacher.
My point is this.
Let me just help your point, because I was given the point, the liberty to interject.
Let me just finish. The point is this. The reason as to why we have a child grow to a man or a woman is basically for him or her to take responsibility of things. In most cases, when you are brought to something, you could easily walk out on that thing and say that I didn't make that decision on my own. But do you know, and I don't know which one of you has tried to dig research, do you know that it is believed that there's higher chances of survival for arranged marriages than when you choose your spouse? I don't think so. I've not had the research myself, but I'm at this point where I could say that if I had to choose, and I'm expected to take responsibility of my choices, I have to get to that point of knowing I chose this one, and then whatever comes, I have to stick by it and I have to honor it.
But has that worked? Because this generation that makes choices, and then the generation that wasn't making the choices, when you look at the levels of success, if I may call that, where success in this case would be the longevity of a relationship, when you look at that, those guys were staying 30, 40, 50 years. We're staying 5 years.
Yes.
We're staying 5 years having made choices. So are we really taking responsibility for the choices? Because I'm thinking, if I'm taking responsibility for a choice, it means that I'm not walking away from that choice. I would say, this is me who made this decision, so I'm going to stick through it. But the easiest thing to do right now is for people to walk away when they think that they've made a mistake.
But which is the greater contribution to that, when you had made a decision yourself, or when you were probably pushed into making that decision in the convenience of other people?
Well, go ahead.
I will subscribe to the idea of arranged marriages, and by saying that it's just, we can't say that it's good nor bad, but what I can say is that it's just one of the ways that you can meet your spouse, because it only leads you to meeting your spouse. And nowadays, we have so many gentlemen outside there who have a phobia for women, and even some women who have a phobia for men. And I will say that it's a good opportunity for them if their parents can choose on their behalf that this guy, this son of mine will get married to this lady from the other family. It can work for those who have phobias. But now, coming to look at it also in a more modern way, sometimes people might argue that it is not your choice. But remember, at the end of the day, you have a spouse. Once they choose for you, it's a life that you have to go through, the two of you as a spouse. So, to me, I'll subscribe to the idea.
Go ahead.
All right. I subscribe to the same idea, but not for the same reasons, because of people having phobia of each other and so on. Let me just draw some little parallels here and there, then I will come home. Kenya apparently is now at the center of a financial revolution, and people are saying that we are quickly becoming the financial hub of Africa, and we are having a lot of foreign direct investments and so on. So young people who are coming up with interesting companies are being bought out, they're being partnered with, and business is happening. Now, I have been privileged to be part of what financial analysts call due diligence, and the due diligence that goes into a financial transaction of buying any company is just amazing. People will get into cost of equity. People People will get into after-tax cost of debt. People will enter into weighted average cost of capital and so on, just to make an offer that might be declined. I'm thinking, you are here, you want to make a decision on a partner who you say you will work together to accomplish purpose. You are saying this person is going to be the mother of your children. You are saying this person is going to be your lifetime partner. I don't completely agree that one person is able to really do that due diligence, in quote. So then it becomes expedient and it becomes wise to consult the elders, for example, right? And to have a sort of holistic vetting way. And I think what has happened is people have just modernized arranged marriages. That is why when you have a chick, you will go to your boys and say, by the way, this is what's happening. Then people will go to Facebook and see a hair, and everybody's commenting. You'll bring them to your friends, you'll bring them to your boys, you'll bring them to your parents.
The point that when we talk about arranged marriages, when you talk about arranged marriages, are we confining it to parents, or are we also opening it up to the cliques around us? Because sometimes, as you say, sometimes your boys would see like you're not making any moves.
Absolutely.
And then they set up a lady.
Thank you very much.
Around you.
Yes.
Is that your decision?
And that's why I was saying.
I wanted to ask him a question. When you expose this lady to your boys,
yes, sir.
What you want from them, is it an opinion that you will make a decision, or is it something that you want them to decide for you?
All right, I'll quickly give you an answer to that because that's a very simple question. Of course, you're not exposing your girlfriend to your boys because she's the most beautiful girl in the world and she's God's own present
really
to them.
That's not what he's saying. But then the question that I have is this, because sometimes some people are very reserved.
Yes.
You know, you could have, even ladies do that sometimes.
Yes.
They've got this girl among them who is very reserved, very quiet. She doesn't go out. She's not meeting anybody, not dating anybody. Then you see the friends around her agree that we're going to cause her to meet so-and-so. And then they begin to arrange circumstances. They begin to create time, and they begin to manipulate things so that these two people will meet and know each other.
I love the word that you have used, manipulate times and things so that these people can come on board. But then when it comes to a point where it is not for these people, you see, from the point that he's drawing, from a business angle or from a secular world, or from when you have your own intentions that you want to achieve in certain relationship, because this happens all the time. There are people who go into relationships because there is something they're targeting. But then when you look at it from a biblical angle, when you have someone that you are supposed to achieve destiny with, achieve purpose with, it all brings up different dimensions of the whole story.
Wait.
Just a moment, a moment. So from the point that this person was introduced, and not necessarily that the point was being arranged, that circumstances were met and a person came into your life and you have decided yourself that this person is the right person, then I don't see a problem with that. But my issue is really when you are at the point where you have been brought someone and you have to push on with
but I'll take you back to the Bible because you like quoting that a lot. And I'll take you back to the first, to the father of faith, Abraham,
yes, sir.
sending his servant,
yes, sir,
and saying, "Don't get my son a wife from here."
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And then
just go and
he goes
get the lady.
away, and all Isaac ever met,
yes,
he just saw a girl coming on a camel,
and that was his wife,
and that was it.
Thank you
and
so
he
much.
he took away Rebecca to become his wife.
Yes.
And you don't read that they were marriage issues.
No, I don't, because when I read that scripture on the whole that thing, there's something that the servant said.
Yes.
If the work was finished, because before then you decide that this is the person, they're his work. There are decisions, there are things you need to observe with the whole thing.
Well, I don't want to get into a Bible discussion. I'm talking arranged marriages.
Okay, all right.
But you see, if you're talking about a case like of Isaac, his father sent a man called Eliezer who went out and prayed and said, God, if the woman who will come here and give water to both myself and the camels, let that be the woman.
Yes, sir.
He didn't even know too much.
Yeah.
And then Rebecca comes and does that. Then they go in and then they talk to the family, then they come back. All he needed to do was to complete an assignment of he has been sent over there. And he said, because my master is old, I want you to do this for me. But my question is going to come down to right now, like in your normal settings. If your parents decided that they have seen somebody they feel has got good qualities as a wife, and you go home, you're dressed up in a suit like this, they're looking at you, they're thinking, you know what, you're not even talking anything about having somebody in your life or something like that, and then they're worried for you. And so they know of a girl also who has been studying something somewhere, so they think the two of you would go together. Would you dismiss it because it was their opinion, or would you want to meet that person and see whether it could actually work?
Let me come in there.
Right.
And for me, I'm the only boy from a family of 4.
Okay.
And my dad passed on. So my mom is the one who brought me up. And I can say that through experience, they know a lot, having been in a successful marriage until my dad passed on. So I will think twice as a man. If my mom will come and talk to me, tell me that there is this girl we have seen in the village and she has these good attributes that they have been looking for, because it seems that they have already done a research, I might subscribe into the idea. But also, nowadays they might not do that because they are fearing the blame that might come over in case or things backfire within our marriage. And we are not saying that even the ones that I go love someone outside there without the help of or intervention from my mother, it's still going to succeed. But at the end of the day, my point is this, that if the girl once introduced to me, and then I look at the girl and I find that she has the right attributes, to me, I will subscribe into the idea. I will go ahead.
You go ahead.
Yes, once we talk and we agree, because I tend to understand that love at some point is built. And every day, every time, we are supposed to experience new love as in with your partner. But nowadays, we are finding that even the so-called love relationships whereby you love someone and you marry, within 3 days, you even become bored to one another. That means that you wake up one day and it's like you realize
Which is what
that
I want to ask, like the modern marriages, the modern marriages and the modern arranged marriages, what's their motivation? Is it do they have a financial connotation? Like he was talking about, people are looking for pedigree.
Yeah.
Is the motivation financial? Could it be sometimes somebody's just thinking, status? What's the motivation?
I think in most cases, from what you mentioned, in the past, when guys, this is information I have, I've not experienced it, but in the past, people could pay dowry for the basic reason that they're appreciating the parents. But today, in most cases, marriage has been turned into what I will call a poverty eradication project, perhaps. So somehow, it has things to do with guarding territories and keeping the status. So that is why I could think that most things, or most marriages are on a flip, especially arranged ones, because then you don't have the opportunity to relate with a different kind of a clique community.
Why do people who make their own choices, why do they keep getting out of those choices that they make? Don't you think that then would give somebody, if I'm standing there as a parent, or I'm standing there as an influencer of this person's life, and I see them coming to me and telling me I've found somebody, this is it. Then they walk out after 3-4 months. Then after another 2 months, they say, now I've found somebody. The other person had these flaws. And in a period of about 5 years, you have met 5 people that they thought this is it. Don't you think I will be inclined to begin to think that I need to help this person?
Reverend, can I jump in a little bit?
Yeah.
I think, let me first begin by saying that I like where you're going with this, yeah? One of the biggest reasons, and the statistics for this, of failure of any endeavor actually, is lack of accountability and no inclusive process in the decision making. So let me give a case, for example. You can set out to go to Mombasa and you say, I will walk to Mombasa. Right? If that is a private decision that you made in your sitting room, you will walk to Machakos and say, this is too much. Let me just go, let me revise. Now let me just walk to Kitengela, right? But if there were some people around you who are involved in that decision, then it becomes more difficult to jump out of. So I might not necessarily endorse the method of, you know, welcome home my son, we brought so-and-so to marry you, yeah?
Right.
But I fully endorse the idea that choosing a spouse should be indeed team effort and there should be accountability. So that issues like jumping out of decisions that we made become more difficult because the process was inclusive and the process had some people around it, and by the time you're coming out of the other side with a decision, that decision is really difficult to go out to go back to because of the kind of inclusivity that it carries.
And which ones? Okay, Martin, you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say that when you look at the current relationships and the marriages, the reasons why they are not working is because I will say that what we call material things is like they want to form basis of love somewhere. And this is whereby a lady, for example, will come, and if you are the gentleman and you want to have a relationship with the lady, they will start looking at what you have at the moment so that they can see that whether they are willing to date you or not. So if they find you that you have a Mercedes-Benz, I don't know whether love can be made from there, and that is those are some of the mistakes that people make in life, because you married. No, this is true. We have so many marriages, even some of them we have seen them on media. Big people having married, and within a period of like, let's say 6-7 months, they part ways. The thing is not that the guy didn't have the money, or they both have the money. But what were they looking for? It's like they thought with some material things might work out. But until later on, when they try it, only things don't work. So
could it be, because we're running out of time for the first segment and we go and join the ladies, but could it be that when it comes to arranged marriages, the expectations are lower? And so people are more realistic when they come into that, because you've just spoken about people who are high-flying, they get into this relationship and they walk out. And I'm thinking probably what made them walk out was their expectations of each other or of the relationship. And so don't you think that in an arranged marriage, I'm coming in with less expectations, so I'm giving the other person the opportunity to over-deliver?
I think I'm going to support him for the 2 points he said. He talked about accountability and he talked about, what was the other point? Inclusivity. I will support that approach that will resolve what you're talking about. In the sense that, I don't really support arranged marriages in fully, but I support in a process where the parents are involved at a place where you have been given an opportunity. Because this thing, marriage, I believe it's personalized. This person is a person I'm going to stay with. So before it goes to the involvement of other people, I have to be content of what I want in this person. So then the involvement and the accountability will come in. I think it will solve the issue of realisticness of how the relationship and expectation and all those things.
I don't know whether you did get into my thing with expectations, because, all right, you're relating with a lady.
Yes.
You got to form a basis of what you expect that relationship to be, just the two of you.
Absolutely.
You're expecting, sometimes people come in, they're expecting this person is going to fulfill me, going to make me happy, they're going to do this, because we have this, we're going to live this kind of a lifestyle. So they're expecting, I made this choice, this person must be the superwoman or the superman.
Oh, yeah.
In arranged marriages, they really don't even expect anybody to be super anything.
Absolutely.
All right.
So can I just jump in here, Reverend? Reverend, that's actually the heart of the issue, because the problem with dating, and I must say it here, and I must say this here boldly, is that people are best foot forward. And we don't really know who we are dating. We don't really know who you are. And there's this mask, because if I'm coming to a date, I'll put on my best English. I will come with my best cologne. I will walk in ways that I know this
like
is
you
my...
dressed up for this.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, I will do my best to put my best foot forward. But the problem then is that will create then in you naturally, and of course consequently, an expectation of a certain man who only exists in your own imagination. I just triggered using some things that I put forward. Now the problem then becomes when you have now to reconcile that high, mighty warrior with this lowly man who's just another ordinary man. And the challenge is it's reciprocal because she will also come forth with her best foot forward. So I also, I mean, I don't know, I got married to Beyonce and I woke up to Naliaka or something like this. So this is
I'll hold those thoughts over there. We will continue on Retake when we are joined by the ladies. We're going to talk about that thing, expectations of arranged marriages. And don't go anywhere. We're just taking a short break. And then we get back on Retake with the ladies. Keep tweeting. K10 Life and Style is our hashtag.
Love, if I may quote Miles Monroe again, is a decision you make to meet another person's need. And that is what normally lacks when we look at the conventional way of marriage, because the other conventional way of marriage, people look at their own needs. Can this person meet my needs? Can this person meet my expectations? And that is why I would be for the arranged marriages.